So driver we started off with.
Yep.
So yeah, slightly less than what I was getting the previous time, but
Related that down to strike point,
yeah,
which is what you're going to work with your coach, Mike.
yeah,
And then just a wee alteration from myself. Strike point gets a little bit closer towards the middle of the club face.
yeah,
And we've gained about 20 yards carry, and we've gained 20 yards total distance there. But obviously a wee bit of room for improvement to work with your coach.
yeah,
Your 3 woods, you know, pretty consistent in terms of strike point. In terms of delivery, very, very tidy indeed. And we're getting kind of nice high launch with low spin, which it was off the tee as well. So
yeah,
kind of reiterate that point. Then got you hit a few off the deck, high launch, low spin. As we identify maybe a lighter shaft just causing the ball to drift out slightly, or it being not pured. But you can certainly find more of that information on our website. And then give you something a fraction heavier, 75 grams, not the 65. All of a sudden, dispersion starting to finish more down the target line.
yeah,
Still a fraction out of the heel. Delivery still very much the same, so well done to you for being consistent. But again, a fraction out of the heel there. Put you back into your own, and again, one has gone right, one has gone more down the target. So again, that kind of puts the point forward that it might be how the shaft is kicking, reiterating that Purin process.
yeah,
Then put you back into the 75 stiff. And when you did get it right, although it was a fraction out the heel, we have gained quite significant yardage there of getting a carry over 200 yards.
yeah,
Whereas with your own, you were 190, own after 191. Now that was 1 out of about 7 or 8 shots that we got that, so I didn't have enough proof that the heavier shaft was going to be a significant improvement there for you. And whilst I was puring your shaft, the 3-wood shaft, your hybrid, very much out the middle of the club face, and dispersion very, very tight. But what a lot of our viewers will see is that it's very, very, very efficient at a smash of 1.47 there. So
yeah,
for me to say that golf club did not work would be an absolute lie. High launch and low spin, and you're exceeding your optimal yardage by about 8 yards there, give or take. So yeah, you know, we're not here to try and sell anything by any means. We're here to try and make you, pretty efficient, and ultimately what we found is that the 3-wood shaft might not be kicking properly for you. So by puring that, we should see a big difference there for you.
Yeah. So the Purin process is taking about 30 minutes.
Yes.
And it's a cost of £30, whereas a new shaft would be potentially 4 times that. So we're going to try the Purin process first, see how we get on with it. But very happy so far. Irons happy with as well, even though we've not had a session today on it. So this is obviously something I'm working on with Mike, my coach. But yeah, so smash factors 1.32, 100 mile an hour ball speed. So obviously that can come up with more PT sessions, but dispersion wasn't too bad.
Shots there, Colin.
Yeah.
And reassuringly so, your delivery is matching your ball flight. So the one that has gone right
was club face open. Yeah.
And significantly open the ball to target line. And the one that you pipe straight in the middle, that number, give or take, is half of that number, which in turn should give you a nice wee draw, which it is.
Yeah.
And that's finishing 3 inches from your target line.
So yeah, so 150 yard total, and I'm 3 inches off of my intended target. So that would be in the cup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So yeah, goes to show obviously that the fitting session that I did do with Lawrence, the PXG UK fitter, has worked. The work that I'm doing with Mike is working, and also obviously the session that I had previous with yourself with the driver plus today's is working as well to try and get me down to the single digit handicap player that I am aiming for. Yeah, so very happy. Looking forward to the improvements that we're going to get over the next couple of months with coming down, seeing Roscoe, and also having Rory as my PT and Mike with my lessons. So from this gentleman here, again, big thumbs up, big kudos. Thank you very much again for the session, mate. It's much appreciated. So thank you. So while I'm waiting on my current 3-wood shaft getting pured and the glue setting, I have actually been put into the Hogan room where I can hit some balls. So I've obviously got my new clubs, which I've actually not done a TrackMan session with yet. So I am currently hitting pitch and wedge. So I've now hit 20, as you can see there. This was the last one. It's not the furthest, it's not the shortest, but you can see that the club head speed there was 73.2, smash factor is 1.1, which then gives me a ball speed of 80.8. So obviously that is not within the blue where it should be, which is between probably 91 and 95 miles per hour. So it is obviously something I need to work on. The launch angle is considerably out of the blue section, so that is something that will need to be looked at, because on that shot I've actually lost 13 yards. So you can see that the majority of the shots there with the wedge were around about 100 yards. There is a couple of them where the optimum was pretty close to actually what I was hitting, but at the moment it was 7 degrees when I came down here a couple of hours ago. The temperatures have dropped considerably. It's just not nice outside at all. Spin rate is not picked up on that one, unfortunately. The height, so that's the trajectory. It is actually bang in the centre where it should be, so that's good. The curve was 37 feet to the left, so 3.33 feet to a metre. So it's what, 10, 11 metres away. So not bad, but needs to be tightened up, especially because it's a wedge. Unfortunately, where I'm standing, I do not actually have a flag to aim at that's roughly 100 yards away from me. So that may be one of the reasons that I am not being as consistent, but strike, I'm quite happy with the way that I am striking. The new wedge, I obviously just need to try and get the ball speed up, which is by generating more power. So whether or not that is due to the shaft not being correct, or if it's down to me not swinging at 100%, which I've not been doing all day. So it may be something that myself and Roscoe will have to look at in the future to try and make sure that for the 2021 season that all my shafts are exact to the specification that I do need. So maybe go and hit a few 9-irons, see what sort of difference that I get between the pitch and wedge and the 9-iron, and then hopefully by then the shaft will be ready for me to take away home. So great service here from the guys. I've literally just finished doing like a 90-minute session, and they've managed to do the puring of my current shaft straight away. So, you know, they could have easily tried to push me to get one of their shafts, but as Roscoe is saying, he is happy with the shaft that I've currently got. We will try out the Purin process on it to see if it will give me an extra couple of yards. If not, then we may have to go up by 5 or 10 grams, but that's something that we will look into in the future. Okay, so I've just hit 15 balls there with my 9-iron. My maximum was about 121 yards. My minimum was about 103. So this one here shows 118 yards. The optimum was exactly 118 as well. So club head speed was 74.2, smash factor was 1.25, ball speed 92.9. So it was saying it was 17 foot 6 inches right of the target. There was a 13 left curve. What I did actually notice was that the trackman, where I was aiming and where the trackman was set up, wasn't actually both in line, so some of those shots do look more wayward than what they actually should be. But you can see that my attack angle is not where it should be, unfortunately. I need to be hitting more down on the ball instead of the 0 that there was there. Spin loft is just at the bottom of the optimum. Ball speed is bang right in the middle. Launch angle is actually high, so that needs to come down. Spin rate is lower than what the 9-iron should be, and the height is slightly higher. So again, it is something that I will need to work on. Obviously over in Oman, where I was using the Gen 2, I was thinking that I would be getting 135 yards with my 9-iron. Obviously it is colder here, so the ball doesn't travel as far, plus I'm also using range balls, so that may have maybe 10 to 15 yards of a difference. So even if it's 10 yards of a difference, it's just very slightly short compared with what I was thinking. But again, it is something that I will work on with Mike, with Rory, and also with Roscoe, to make sure that for 2021 season that all my clubs are correct. Okay, but generally happy with the dispersion. There was one that was a lot further out to the left, but that was actually after I had moved the trackman. But apart from that, as you can see, everything is, with my 9-iron and also with my wedge, is generally quite straight. So there's actually 34 balls being detected within that small area. So it does go to show that my ball flight and my dispersion is really quite good. So I am very happy with that. Roscoe does actually have another person in for a fitting session at the moment, so he's not seen any of these numbers, because I have actually been hitting here on my own. Spin rate is 6,359, so it is something that I will have to speak to him about to find out why. It's potentially because my attack angle is wrong, so I'm not getting the optimum spin rate. But obviously this is me just trying to get used to new clubs, and during the session that I've just had there with Roscoe, we were actually discussing about my setup with my woods, so I have actually tried taking that into my irons. So again, I'm not swinging at 100% power, so that may also be the reason that the carry distances are slightly lower than what I was expecting. Plus I was in the gym last night, so I am a bit sore, but I'm aiming to try and get club speed up to 80 miles an hour and try and get that smash factor up. But hopefully everybody is enjoying all the different content that is coming onto the channel. down at SGGT. The facilities are absolutely fantastic. I have had people messaging me through Facebook asking how good the fitting session is, how good the facilities are, etc. And I cannot speak highly enough about them. Roscoe is very knowledgeable, very friendly, very understanding, and is so willing to help to try and maximise everybody's game and to try and get big smiles on everybody's faces as well. So for that, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. My driver shaft still isn't here yet, but it was only 6 days ago that I was last here. But my 3-wood shaft has been pured, and I'm just waiting on it setting the glue, so it should be dry by the time I get home, and I'm really looking forward to getting to use this in the near future.